All right, folks, and we're back. And of course, we've been talking about the Euros, Terry, but it's no secret. It's the worst kept secret in the world. And I'm a huge fan of this particular team. They're not even going to try to hide that. But I love the Copa America. I love football all over the planet. I love the Euros. I love the Copa America, also like the African nations, AFCON. But the Copa America kicked off, and Argentina took on a team that probably Trinidad should have been there, but that's another discussion. We'll talk about that another time. But Canada ended up being there, and the game was a lot closer than people thought. Now, not to me. Yeah. Just like, with the Euro games as well, when people were surprised by certain teams with Denmark and England. Canada is a team that has been doing well in recent times. They have been improving. We saw in the World Cup, the one deficiency they probably had was maybe their goal scoring. But they would physically dominate teams. They played a high-pressing game. They changed coaches. They have problems, just like us, in Trinidad and Tobago, in case you're wondering where we are. They had some problems with their FA and finances. But, it was a bit of a tricky game. Argentina was very wasteful in certain cases, but Canada did cause some problems.
Yep.
Terry, current world champions, Canada being a CONCACAF team. What do you think about this result?
So listen, Andrea, first and foremost, listen, I still have nightmares about your team, Argentina, yes. Bloody hell, back in 1986.
Oh, my
listen,
God.
They're a great side. Mm-hmm. They're world champions. You can't argue with that. Mm-hmm. But people have got to see in this game, Canada now have had 5 to 7 years development. Mm-hmm. And that development, and we're seeing it in the USA as well, it's getting stronger as we move on. Their players now are all over the world, playing some of the best teams in Europe.
Correct.
So that tells me they're doing good things. They've got a game plan. They know what they're looking to achieve. They're against the world champions, so they were always going to try and make themselves hard to beat. And that's what they did, Andrea. They made the game difficult for Argentina. I like that. I think it's good. But Argentina have got that extra bit of class, quality to win these games.
Yes. So let's pull up the first set of stats really quickly because, of course, we are limited by time. But, these are the possession stats.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm not surprised by the possession.
Surprise.
Possession. Scaloni is known for that possession. Canada did what I think was the smart thing to do. Yeah. And it was effective. The overall expected goals, 2.93, 1.17, 19 shots. I'll talk about that really quickly before we leave because Argentina were very wasteful. Yeah. Messi is usually very lethal.
Yes.
Missed about 3 chances. Lautaro Martinez as well. Yeah. Duels. One, it was a very physical game, which, did trouble Argentina a little bit.
Yes.
And, big chances, 9, which is a key stat for me in this one.
Yes.
This is just 2 for Canada, which Martinez came up with 2 brilliant saves.
Yes.
Overall, 7.2 wasn't the perfect game for Argentina, but they adapted really well. And let's pull up the other stat as well before we, the formation. So Scaloni played with his 4-4-2, which is, it seems like a very old school formation, but he does a lot of variations. The team adapts a lot. Canada played 4-4-2 as well. And like I said, in all the other games, it couldn't have been a contrast in style with both teams. So it couldn't be more of a contrast.
Well, what I saw in this was Canada actually fall back. The two front players play in a wider positions. Mm-hmm. So it's a very difficult setup to break down. Mm-hmm. And that's what I saw in the whole game. Yes, it was a little frustration for Argentina, but Messi should have scored 2 goals in this game, in my opinion. And I think he just took his foot off the pedal, early stages of the competition, moving forward. But look at the side that they've got. They've got some terrific players in there, and I think they'll only get better, Andrea, as the tournament wears on.
Yes. And one thing I definitely want to ask your opinion on, which I think was very clever from Canada, where they did something, and I'll ask you your opinion, because when Argentina was in possession, Canada had these 4, Buchanan, David, Larin, and Miller, and they were pressing up to a certain point where it wasn't like aggressive pressing. It was enough with 4 guys were pressing up front.
Yes.
And you could see it was very tactical in the beginning because Argentina was passing the ball around. Yeah. And it was just enough to kind of make Argentina think a little bit. And it was not allowing them to go through the middle. Yeah. And eventually they did. Yeah. But you could see that there was a game plan. And what I liked about Canada was there was a good balance between the pressing and dropping back.
Yes.
So, it wasn't just pressing for the sake of pressing. Yeah. They dropped back when they needed to. Yeah. And it did do some counterattacks, which troubled Molina and Acuna a little bit. And it did limit the passing range, but I guess in the end. But what do you think about Canada's tactics in this game?
So for me, this is all about being compact.
Yeah.
So when they force the 4 up against you, it's not just that front 4. The back 4 are up as well. It's tight in midfield. So there's probably 30 yards between your front 4 and your back 4. And that's your squeeze. As soon as the opposition get comfortable on the ball, they all drop off together.
Yeah.
But That's what they're working on. That's what their game plan is. That's what their behind-the-scenes development has been all about. So these kids are all on the same page. They're all doing good things.
Yes, and I saw a discussion this morning on the way here because, technology is beautiful. ESPN and those guys, Shaka, kudos to Shaka, our friend. He was talking to these guys, and one of the things they're asking, which I wouldn't ask, but it seems like people are asking, Lionel Messi missing those chances. Some people are saying, is playing for Inter Miami in the MLS kind of dulled him a little bit? Do you think? I don't think so. I think he's quality. I don't think that's the reason, but what do you think about that?
Well, I would hope not. Listen, this is his national team. They're world champions. He is one of the best players we've ever seen. Love him to death. Great on the ball, skill sets, and goals.
Yeah.
Lionel, step up and score your goals.
Yes. But the good thing is, even Lionel Messi, not as his best, he got 2 assists.
Yes.
So, that shows you the quality of this guy.
Yeah.
His bad day is probably better than most players' best days, Like, he got those 2 assists, which were very clever against a well-organized Canadian team. We'll pull up the...
Andrea, we've also got to recognise in this formation,
Yeah.
when they win the ball, Messi gets a free range wherever he wants to go, and everyone else moves accordingly.
Yeah, correct. He has that freedom, and he has the players that really finally kind of complement him. I think many coaches tried, and Scaloni has unlocked that Pandora's box that is Messi for the national team. We're going to head to our last stat before we end things off, which is my favorite new attacking momentum. As you can see, it's pretty self-explanatory.
Absolutely.
Argentina in blue, in Canada having key moments there, which... It's important to stress those key moments did trouble. There was 2 moments where Martinez had to do some saves.
Yes.
And it shows you where, these are where the quality keepers come up. Because he did not honestly have much to do. But a few times he did, he came up big. Because, if Canada takes those chances, we'd have a Saudi Arabia situation again. I'm not saying Canada would have won, but it would have been very complicated for Argentina. And, 65% versus 35%.
That's all that Canada are looking for.
Yeah.
They get that one chance. Can they score it? If they do, can they hang on to it? But you can see the dominance here of Argentina, the world champions, keeping possession of the ball. They created much more chances that they should have scored more goals.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, it's still a 2-0 victory against a good side in Canada.
And, we'll pull up the group table right now as well, just to end things off. We have the shot map. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So as you can see, boatloads of shots for Argentina.
Loads, yeah.
Canada with 2 shots on target there. I did see a lot of those shots, but it shows, the contrasting. It just builds on what we were saying already.
Yeah.
Argentina creating a lot of chances. And Lionel Messi with the MVP of the match, of course. Who else would it be?
else?
Yes, come on. It would feel strange if I saw somebody else.
Yeah.
I feel like it takes away from, we'll talk about that before we end things off, but, played the full 90 minutes as usual, which is shocking. He's going to turn 37 in a couple of days, I think. There were moments where he had some 1v1, so he broke away, and I was surprised how fast he still was, because he's not as fast as he was in his prime years at Barcelona, but he's still very difficult to catch. He's very physical, difficult to dispossess.
Yes.
You can see on the map that he marauds all over the map. He drops deep.
Correct.
So I'm not surprised by any of this here. He got an overall rating of 8.5. He was a difference maker, and, for people who value the all-round part of the game.
Yes.
Even though he was wasteful with those goals, which he was.
Yeah.
Those 2 assists also kind of gave Argentina the cushion they needed, because it was a tricky game.
Yeah.
And, let's pull up the last one now. As you can see here, Group A, Argentina is on top with 3 points. But the reason why is I'm not just going to talk about the generic stats here, but the way how Canada played, and I have to give kudos to Canada.
Yeah.
I think Canada, I would not have said this at the beginning, but I think Canada, if they play the way they're capable of, they are possibly, and also a CONCACAF team, that could possibly edge in and make it out of this group. What do you think?
I agree. I think they're a good side. Unfortunately, they play against the world champions in their first game. Can I make one point here? When you look at Argentina, they've got 10 players to win the ball back, and when they win it, give it to Messi.
Yes.
And that's been South America. When we look back at same Argentina with Diego Maradona.
Of course, yeah.
We look at Pelé, Ronaldinho, all of that. That's typical of what we're talking about in this competition. But I think Canada are as strong as Peru and Chile. They need a pinch of luck, of course they do. but I'm hoping they come through.
Yes. Chile a couple of years ago, I would have said for sure they were going to make it through.
Yeah.
They have, in recent times when Bielsa took over their football program, we always talk about development.
Yes.
They won 2 Copa America titles at the cost of Argentina.
Yes.
They created a whole bunch of players, which are now, that cycle has now ended.
Correct.
And I don't think they've
Not the
really...
same at the moment.
No, they're not. They're not the same. They have some quality players in there. Peru has a couple of players in there that are very good.
Yeah.
They have a couple of players that, been playing for a long time. But I think Canada has a legit chance. And, for all the Canadian fans out there, I think, while we are talking about the world champions, I'm excited about Canada.
Yeah.
I think Canada looks... I like to see where they started and where they are.
Yes.
And it's good for people in Trinidad and Tobago to see these things. If you apply yourself, what you can be.
Andrea, they've got their own Canadian league now.
Yep.
They've got great development behind the scenes. They're producing great young players. They're on the up.
Yes, so it's very premature now. We're going to end things off. It's pretty crazy. I don't like to do this at the beginning of tournaments, but do you think Argentina can retain their Copa America title?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The players that they've got, absolutely.
Yes. So, folks, let us know what you think. I'm not going to say anything right now because it's a known fact that I'm an Argentina fan. So I will. I have my fan face and then I have my analyst face. This is the analyst face. I think it's going to be tough with teams like Uruguay and so on, but we'll see how it goes. That's why we love football.
Yeah.
So with that being said, folks, be sure to scan the QR code and be sure to be looking at our. I'm going to try to do weekly episodes of the Euros and the Copa America and eventually the Olympics. Let us know what you think in the comment section. What do you think about our thoughts? Do you agree? Do you disagree? That's okay. We actually encourage this. So with that being said, we'll be seeing you all for the next episode. Right now, as we speak, games are going on. Let us know what you think about this particular tournament, the coverage within the Euros. Obviously, I got a lot of comments on people that the Trinidad media is taking a lot of bashing because they're not covering the Copa America.
Yeah.
Let me know what you think. I put that out to the media out there. Why is that? So with that being said, folks, Terry, it's been a pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you for joining us. And hopefully it's coming home this time for the Euros.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching Extra Time TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe.